A few years back, the channel McJuggerNuggets, run by Jesse Ridgway, was one of the biggest channels on all of YouTube, with each one of its uploads receiving millions of views. While his channel is by no means dead nowadays, looking at his stats, there has been quite a massive drop-off in viewership on the account, with many people asking the simple question, what happened? Well, to understand this, we'll first have to take a look at the history of the channel, as well as the subgenre of content that gained him well over 3 million subscribers. Video freakouts. You see, Jesse was one of many channels at the time cashing in on the fake freakout subgenre on YouTube. How this all started was back in the very early days of this site. Some of the most viral content were one-off freakouts, of people usually being extremely irate over extremely petty things. It should also be added that they were often fake. Probably the biggest example of an early one was the angry German kid. Things really start to get going in this genre in 2009 when some start to make a continuous series out of it rather than just one-off freakouts. One could say the grandfather of these was the greatest freakout ever series that has been going on for a decade, with the first one having almost 100 million views. From there you had Angry Grandpa, Francis, and of course the main focus of the video today, Psycho Family.
I'm never gonna quit playing!
It should be noted that the McJuggerNuggets channel didn't start out with these freakouts. In fact, the earliest content were recordings of Halo that date back to 2006. From there, Jesse's interest in filmmaking continued with various series and skits that didn't gain much traction, but were rather passion projects. Things really took off in 2012 when Jesse created a video that would change his life forever, called Psycho Dad Destroys Xbox.
What happened? You were just over a little bit. I feel sorry. Dad, what are you doing, Dad? Dad! Leave it in there. What are you doing? You are, don't you? What?
This set up the basic premise that would be repeated dozens of times for years to come. Uploaded as if it was real, the video would show a family member getting mad at another family member for whatever reason, which would lead to them getting so irate that they destroy an electronic item from the person in a unique way. This first video amassed 20 million views, and because of that, Jesse started the Psycho Family series to repeat its success. From this point onwards, he started coming up with absurd and ridiculous storylines that were all meant to lead to epic freakouts for his dysfunctional family. Jesse was able to twist and turn this series in every which way imaginable, in a similar vein to WWE wrestling or soap operas. They had run-ins with the police. He moved out of the house into a tent in the woods, which later leads to his father running over the tent with all his stuff inside, plus a multi-year story arc of the family members stealing and destroying each other's silver and golden YouTube play buttons. While to any sane person it was clear that these freakouts were all scripted, Jesse continued to play it off as if it was real for years.
Are the Psycho videos real? Are the Psycho videos fake? And so you guys don't have to scroll through the video to find out. The videos are real. This has not ever been a question. For those of you guys that watch my other content, you guys watch my vlogs, you guys know the in-betweens and follow me on Twitter, tune into the stream. It's no doubt that these videos are real.
In the early days of YouTube, a big reason why these freakouts were so popular is because people just assumed that they were real, or at least didn't check any further to see if they were scripted. While at the beginning it was reasonable to think that it's possible the Psycho Family videos were legit, as the years went by and the channel started to make millions, there was not even the slightest doubt that they were staged. But Jesse remained adamant it was all genuine. At some point you had to question the intelligence level of people that still believed all these Psycho Family videos were real. I understand that most knew it was staged but watched for fun. I have no problem with that. But the idea that anyone thought a family like this existed is baffling. Anyway, with a perfect storm of great clickbait videos, a storyline that had people captivated and other people online spending time trying to debunk the show, it began to grow each and every episode. At its height, the channel was pulling in 80 million views a month, which is crazy to think about. By 2016, however, the show had been going on for 4 years, and Jesse's video games have been destroyed by his father in every way imaginable. So how on earth could the series go any further? Well, by having Jesse shoot his dad, of course.
You made me!
A series known for jumping the shark finally could not jump any higher, and shortly after the shooting, the series was wrapped up with Jesse making a video confirming that yes, the show was all fake and he didn't actually murder his father. I just want to reiterate right now that yes, some people actually believe that there was a murder there. I really respect Jesse for ending the show when he did. Most people would just run that sucker into the ground, making every last dime off it, but instead he ended it on a high note when people still cared. This wrap-up was also good timing because a few months after it ended, YouTube started cracking down on monetizing controversial content because of the adpocalypse. For those that don't know, in 2017, advertisers started pulling ads from the entire site, and because of this, plenty of video genres started getting demonetized en masse. And one of these casualties were freakouts. The violence, screaming, dysfunction, and chaos that these videos displayed made them a huge target for the algorithm to give them the good old yellow dollar sign, essentially making them unprofitable. To put it simply, this content is no longer lucrative. Nowadays, I think it's fair to say that freakout channels are dead. Boogie2988 doesn't make them anymore because of a lack of revenue from them, as well as a changing audience. There hasn't been a new greatest freakout ever in over a year. Angry Grandpa passed away in real life, and the Psycho family ended. I was never the biggest fan of this genre, but it still saddens me to see it go. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for making it to the end of this video today. It's really appreciated. And as for the question of the day, somebody wants to know if I'll ever bring back the podcast. And I think I remember answering this one before, but I'll answer it again. The thing with the podcast is that I made it after the adpocalypse happened and I was trying to come up with new revenue streams, and I thought that having sponsored messages on a podcast would be the way to do that, so I tested it out. But what ended up happening is I found other ways that I could increase my revenue a little bit better than that, and scheduling them and getting it all worked out ended up being more work than I believed it was going to be when I started it up, so I ended up putting it on hiatus. Now that I think about it, back then I did a podcast with Adam from Your Movie Sucks, and I never uploaded it to the public, and I kind of feel bad about that. I spent an hour of his time, and he didn't even get any promotion, and it never saw the light of day, so I may upload that one at some point. Other than that, making new ones, it's up in the air. I may start making new ones at some point in the future, but for now, it's not going to happen. But anything's possible, and I listen to podcasts every single day, so I do have an interest in them. It's not like I'm trying to cash in. At this point, I'd just be doing it for fun. So yeah, that's my answer. The podcast may come back in some form in the near future, but we'll just have to wait and see. So I'll end the video right here, and until next time, thanks for watching.
L'amor t'ha